All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So, look, let's cut right to the chase. All right, after analyzing depth chart upon depth chart, I've come to the conclusion, personally, that as we stand today, the New York Jets have the worst wide receiving room in the entire National Football League. Understanding that guys like Jamison Crowder and Denzel Mims, they're dealing with injuries, I get that 100%, but they're frankly unavailable for the foreseeable future, especially with Mims. He's on IR. I don't know when he's going to be back. So when you take a look at the current Jets lineup, guys like Chris Hogan, Braxton Berrios, Rashad Perryman, and you compare this room to every other room across the NFL, it's crystal clear that the Jets need talent. We need a true number one wide receiver. We need explosiveness on the offensive side of the football, especially considering Adam Gase just refuses to feed Le'Veon Bell the football. He doesn't run the rock that much. He likes to throw it. He likes to throw it a lot. Sam Darnold likes to throw the ball, short passes. It's kind of Darnold's game. Taking into consideration the offensive scheme and the thought process behind what Gase wants to do on offense, again, it's crystal clear we need help. We need help desperately. And to be frank, I actually like all three of these guys that we have on the roster. That's going to be our starting. By the way, these three guys are going to be the starting unit in against San Francisco, and I like all three of them. I think all three have certain strengths, certain skill sets that a head coach or an offensive coordinator can benefit from, or can put these guys in positions to have success. Like, these guys can make plays. But again, when you compare them to every other team out there, we need some help. We need another player. We need another playmaker at that position for sure. If the Jets want to be competitive this season, because, and I know there's been a lot of talks like Jets fans wanting Jamar Chase and a couple other number one wide receivers in the draft, but that's all the way in April. And I get wanting a wideout then, but we're not even 2 weeks into the season yet. I cannot wait for the entire regular season, the postseason, the offseason for the Jets to address the wide receiver position. I just don't think that's realistic if the Jets want to have any sort of shot of competing this year. So it begs the question, should Joe Douglas pick up the phone, Jets general manager Joe Douglas, pick up the phone, call a team like Chicago for Allen Robinson, call a team like Pittsburgh for Juju Smith, or call a team like Cleveland for Odell Beckham Jr.? Now, when you look at the current state of affairs of the New York Jets, what do we have to offer? We have cap space, so we can afford to pay these wide receivers. We have equity, assets, draft capital that we can give up to go get a number one wide receiver. And we have the need, the biggest thing of all, the need. The Jets, we just talked about it. We need help. So it makes sense for Joe Douglas to pick up the phone, contact one of these teams, and at least see what these teams are asking for. And in the case of Odell Beckham Jr., I think it would take a mid-round pick. I think all it would take is a third-round pick, maybe a second-round pick to a fourth-round pick, somewhere in that range. I don't think he's going to get some Jalen Ramsey type deal or a Jamal Adams type deal. I think it will be more so around the Yannick Ngakoue style of trade, like a second, third, possibly a fourth, if Cleveland just wants to get rid of him. Dating back to last year, we've seen a ton of reports saying Odell Beckham is not happy playing football anymore. He doesn't want to be in Cleveland. He's not a system fit. He just doesn't like playing the sport at all anymore because of Cleveland, and he wants to return back to New York City. Now, all of those can be red flags for sure. And if the Jets were to go out and pursue a trade with the Browns for Beckham, you're obviously betting on the fact that Beckham, you're betting on Beckham's upside as opposed to his resume or like his monstrous stats that he's putting in Cleveland. Because when you look at the numbers, when you look at just his overall statistics, he's not that dominant. But when you look at him from a talent perspective, what he can do as a fit in the Gase system, a guy who works really well with the football in his hands, a guy who can create separation at the line of scrimmage, win one-on-one battles, win jump balls, win on slants, bubble screens, all that kind of stuff, he is the perfect fit for the Adam Gase system. Same with Juju Smith, not so much Allen Robinson, but when you look at Beckham's skill set, his talent level, what he's done in the league just as far as playmaking abilities, he's a perfect fit. The Jets have money to pay him. Remember, I think he has 4 years left on his deal, including this one. So we'd have this year and then 3 more years. I believe somewhere around the range of $13 to $15 million of a cap hit. So somewhere in there, which is, I mean, that's a ton of money for a number one wide receiver. But when you look at the Jets' recent history, we have to go back 5 years from now and watch the tape of Brandon Marshall. That was the last time the Jets had a true X, a true number one guy that we can count on. Fitzmagic, Chan Gailey, they can count on Brandon Marshall coming down with the football. We can draw plays up for him just to win at the line of scrimmage, win one-on-one against cornerback battles. Brandon Marshall that year was just a huge diamond in the rough pickup by Mike McCagnon. But since then, it's been bare bones. And yeah, Robbie Anderson had a couple really nice years for us, but he's not that he's more of a deep threat guy. You know that, I know that. He's not the true Julio, the Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams. He's not that type of guy. Okay, that's why we let him go. Carolina, and by the way, he actually dominated with Carolina week 1, so kudos to him. But if you are the New York Jets, if you are Joe Douglas, and you watch that week 1 matchup against Buffalo, and you watch Darnold missing throws, and you're seeing all these injuries, Denzel Mims hurt, Jamison Crowder hurt, Rashad Perryman was hurt, but now he's healthy. You got to think to yourself, will it be worth it? Is it worth giving up a 3rd-round pick to Cleveland? And obviously, $15 million a year for OBJ. Is it worth it? I personally would say yeah, and I'm not the biggest Beckham fan, but if the Jets were to go out and acquire OBJ, he would be the biggest talent at wide receiver the Jets have had in years. Okay, in years. And that's pretty enticing. Okay, that's really, really intriguing, to say the least. So I'll leave it there. I just kind of wanted to lay out a little bit of just the facts of the matter on this situation, and kind of just present or trying to connect the dots here on why it could possibly work. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Should the New York Jets go out and try to pursue an Odell Beckham Jr.? Is he too much drama? Is he too much of a diva? Are there too many red flags? Should the Jets stay away from it? Or should Joe Douglas just say, hey, you know what? We looked awful against Buffalo. We're going to be down a bunch of guys against San Francisco. The season's already slipping from, our fingertips. Let's go out. Let's make a a power move here and go out and acquire one of the league's best talents. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.